What's up guys, it's Joe. Welcome back to another video. I can finally start making videos again. My laptop is all fixed. So this Sunday I have a very nice edited video for you. At least I hope it's nice. And I hope that you enjoy it because this is a complete overview and tips guide as to how to do a pristine, no maintenance aquarium like I have right here. I have not done a water change on this tank in about 6 months and I don't even scrape the glass. Everything is still pristine in this tank and I'm going to show you how you can do that with your aquarium so you can just enjoy the fish and not, spend so much time working on it and getting your hands dirty. So if you enjoy this video and I help you learn something, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting the bell icon so you know when I post a new video. Anyways, let's get right into the content. So this aquarium is a 10-gallon. The actual tank itself is my old 10-gallon that I had like goldfish in. I fit like 4 goldfish in there. It was a horrible idea, but I was like 6, so cut me a break. Now this tank has multiple things working for it that allow it to be a no maintenance tank. The biggest, most important thing is I have this massive Pothos over the top of it. This soaks up all the nitrates and it uses them up and really depoison? I don't think depoison is a word, but it depoisons the water for the fish. It cleans it up for them. I also have some Nano, which does the same type of thing, and some dwarf hairgrass, which minimally adds to that. But I do have it highly planted for a 10-gallon tank. Now the lights on it are really weak lights. I'm surprised that they're capable of growing the plants as well as they are. They just came with the 20-gallon starter kits that I got. One of them's over here from like PetSmart or something. They're just regular LED lights, but they grow the plants pretty well, and they do not add to much algae at all because they're not super strong lights, unlike the one I had on here, which made the algae grow out of control. So finding that sweet spot for your lighting is definitely a good idea. I do not have CO2 on this, so that's a whole nother thing not to worry about, because the CO2, while it gets rid of some of the algae issues you might have in a planted tank, you still have to change that out. It's a lot of work to maintain a CO2 canister in the aquarium. Any of you planted guys who are watching this video really know what I'm talking about. It can be a pain in the butt, and it's very expensive. Now, since I don't have that CO2 on the tank, you'd think I'd have a little bit of algae, and I do. I get a little bit of algae in the tank. It's not much because the lights aren't super powerful, but to take care of the algae, I do have some small pond snails in there. They're really not out of control. I think my beta eats them a little bit to keep them under control, and it also keeps my beta fed. But those pond snails cruise around the tank, and they eat all the algae off the glass and off of like the whole filter section I have in the back, and it cleans it up really nicely. I don't even have to scrape the glass on this thing. As for stocking, I have 3 glow light tetras and 1 neon tetra, which was left over from one of my tanks that had, like a bacteria outbreak or something like that. I don't really remember what sickness. I think it might have been neon tetra disease, but it was 1 surviving neon tetra in this tank, along with the 3 glowfish and Bruce the beta, who also does very well in this tank. He's loving it. He has not jumped out of the top yet. I have had a glow light tetra jump out of the top, but I was sitting right there and I grabbed it and put it back in. Other than that, no other fish have jumped out of the top of the aquarium. I'm leaving the top open just so it looks cool, and that also helps, you don't get a whole lot of algae buildup on the lid or any sort of grime with that because all the water doesn't get trapped in there. Now I do have to top it off probably every 2 days. I end up topping it off, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's only maybe a half a gallon each time. Now let's look at the specs of the tank. I have the built-in filter in the back that I DIY'd. It was super easy. I have a video in the description of how I did that. You can watch the full saga on me creating this tank. It was an entire DIY tank. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But the filter itself, I have a section of foam filtration, and then it goes into carbon, and then it goes into the biological filtration. Now if you look at the water I have in this tank, it is crystal clear, and you might think that that's because of the carbon that I have in the filter, which can help clear up a lot of aquarium water. If you're having any clarity issues, you got some cloudy water, you might want to throw some carbon in there. But this carbon is really old. I have not changed it out in a long time. I just stepped away from this tank and said, you know what, do what you're gonna do. So the water is being cleaned by the plants, and the clarity of it is all due to the plants and whatever mechanical filtration I have in there. Now the water flows through all the mechanical filtration and goes into the return chamber where I have the heater sitting, which is just a really low-tech heater. I just need it in there to, you know, keep the temperature up for my beta because they like it a little bit warmer. But it's hidden from view, which I really enjoy, and then the water gets pumped back out of the filter when it's all said and done. Again, if you want further details on how I did this tank, there are videos. It's a whole playlist in the description of how I, the evolution of this tank. So if you're looking into getting a, no maintenance tank, maybe you want it for your office, maybe you want another tank, but you're like, dude, I do not have enough time to take care of another aquarium. Just look at the top things that I have told you in today's video. I mean, you need a lot of plants. I suggest getting Pothos. Pothos is really, really helpful. I cannot stress that enough. This is really probably what makes this entire tank possible. Anubias does a really good job of cleaning up the water as well. And a lighter stocking load. Like, I have small fish, they don't eat a whole lot. I don't feed them, I feed them once a day, so I don't feed them a whole lot. Some people feed their fish 2 times a day. I only feed these guys once a day. So that also keeps any of the waste levels down, and it allows this to be a pristine, no maintenance tank. And a little bonus tip here, if you're thinking about getting this tank, make sure that you know the placement of the tank really does matter. If you put the tank in front of a window or anywhere where there's natural light coming in, you're going to get a lot more algae issue. Mine is like right in the middle of my room. I keep my shades drawn pretty much all day, every day, so I do not get a whole lot of natural light in here. So I don't get a whole lot of algae in this tank. Now, if you were to put this tank like on a windowsill or in front of windows that you keep open all day, it will get algae. So positioning of the tank really does factor into whether you get algae, and you need to do maintenance on the tank. When you're running a no maintenance tank, you also have to be very vigilant as far as paying attention to how the fish are doing. If they're showing signs of disease or of ammonia poisoning, then you better get testing, or you better do a water change. It's not just an excuse not to do anything and not to check up on your fish, because obviously your fish are here for you to enjoy, but you also have to make sure that they're doing well and that they are thriving in your aquarium. So anyways, guys, that's really probably gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you learned something, and especially if you're going to be trying out my no maintenance method, definitely drop me a like below, and leave a comment in the comment section if you would like to express your opinion on this video. Also, consider subscribing for more awesome fish keeping content every single Sunday. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I better get editing it, which I haven't been able to do for like a month, so super psyched. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.